Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the E-Report on our special segment, the Youth Wisdom. We have been away for, I believe, a week. We went down to Boya to cover the Hustlers Conference, the fourth edition, I believe, of the Hustlers Conference that was taking place in Boya. So we couldn't have our special segment last week. But this week, we have made up for it in double because our guest of today, ladies and gentlemen, is a powerhouse in the trading business, in stock investing. Welcome to today's edition, Mr. Joseph Brandy.
Oh, thank you so much, Joe. It's a pleasure being here to share my experience. Thank you so much.
You're very, very much welcome. I remember when I was looking at your portfolio, I was like, that's a lot for somebody. And I cannot believe we have people Cameroonians that are so deep into the Forex trading, because I think it's something that we hear about often, but we don't know if they're actually people who are doing it and making it big in Cameroon. So can you tell us about yourself, sir?
Yeah. First of all, I'm a student of what I do. Yeah, so I've been trading for 5 years. I'm the founder of Platera Capital. Yeah, so Platera Capital is one of the leading asset management companies in the country as at now. So we are involved in Forex, crypto, stock, and so on. So been doing that for 3 years now, and I've been in business for 5 years. So started way back in school. Yeah, so basically it's a little bit about me.
So which school did you attend?
Yeah, CTEC HIT. It's here in Yaoundé.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you say you started working, doing trading then?
Back then in school, I started trading, but doing my level 2. So I did banking and finance, my undergraduate degree, banking and finance. And this was just mentioned in class. So it's just something that I just stumbled over it, I can say by mistake, basically. Because I really got into it, but when I saw an ad on Google, I saw guys flashing cars and cash. That is what really drag people, really attract people to this market. So it's the same thing that drew my attention into it. So I started doing some research, and gradually I got to really understand what this is all about beyond the money part. Yeah, so I really started that being level 2. And from there, by level 3, I really got serious into it. And I knew that this is something I really want to, invest some time into it and make it like my full-time business, basically.
So starting in level 2, what will you say the profit look like going from level 2 to level 3 that made you feel like, oh, I can do this as something like the main thing financially?
Yeah, so level 2, it was, most part of it was just learning. The money, I was not really making money by then. We have some accounts called demo accounts. So when you finish learning, you start with a demo. That is where you test your skills. It's not real money. It's just like virtual money to just apply what you've learned. There's no risk there. So majority of my level 2 was doing that. I believe my first deposit was like $10 or $20. Yeah. But by level 3, I had put in, I was sure based on what I'd been seeing from the result I had by then. And I made my first significant deposit of $200. Yeah, and I traded. And back then, I had target to make like $5 a day. As a student, I knew if I can make $5 a day, because before then, I'd done some odd jobs around. Yeah. Anytime we say an odd job, it might be to upload books from Cosmos, from Cameroon, these lorries, or to work in a chantier. So I said, okay, when I work there, averagely, I can make 3K from that job. But if I can trade and make $5 within an hour, it will be more preferable since I'm a student. And in a certain month, I made my first $100. $100. While still in class, just doing stuff, I make the $100. And it just changed my entire perspective about the market. Yeah, so from there, I just decided to put in as much effort as possible. I believe, let me just tell a little bit story, how that $100 really shifted my mindset when it came to this. So when I started, my target was to make $5 a day, and on a certain day I make $13. So I don't know if you've ever set like a target
And you
and
beat
you
it.
exceed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you exceed that target. It's really amazing, you know. And it made me believe it even more. And that first time, and when you're making money online, perhaps you don't really have that. You're not yet sure, yeah, till when you withdraw the money. So once I traded for that 1 month until I withdrew $100, and I could touch that $100. This is real money. Well, back then it was like 57,000, I believe, because I withdrew it from my bank. That is the first time when I created a UBA account. When the UBA people usually come to school, we don't really have time. But now I had a reason to create an account. I created it, went to Hippodrome, withdrew that money. I came to, when I entered my school, I was a different person that day. It's just like I'm going to, it's just a matter of time before I become a member of the board of the school, maybe an investor or something. My mindset was just like, there was just so much hype. And I got to class, I look at my mates, I was like, okay, let me show these people that now I'm making money. Because back then in Cameroon, I was still studying, doing free hours when the teacher is not yet there. Or we might check, have you ever seen a trading screen? You see those lines, it looks so frightening and stuff. In class doing something, and people will be wondering like, Randy, what are you doing? I'm saying, well, this is Forex. I'm trying to figure out how to make money from this. And people don't really understand how that works. So there was me coming back to class to show them that, okay, I've been doing this and I'm not cashing out. So when I enter class, the class that day, there was this lady that usually say Mambo Peanut. There's always these people that, hustling. And I was one of her customers. I always buy like in bits. So that day I just called her and said, how much is it? She told me. I say, share it to the entire class.
Wow.
Yeah, start from this. And share it to the entire class, he finished. And she shared, she was very shocked and stuff. I said, no, it's okay. Share it to everybody.
It's okay.
And she did that, and people were like shocked. They were like surprised, like, so this Randy stuff is really working. And the feeling of me doing that, it really gave me more zeal to continue, because it's not just about doing, but it's more about showing people how this can change their financial well-being and navigating it the right way, most importantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So, since you started speaking, I think we've heard a lot about the positive side of how it's impacted your life. You talked about the financial increase, a little bit of the swag. All right. So, but I think when people think about Forex trading, they always look to the fact where people experience losses, like gut-wrenching losses.
Yeah.
Have you had certain scenarios like that?
Yeah, I have. The mine likely will not be that bad as certain people out there, Before I even explain how, my own situation, the degree of losses will depend on your financial capacity, should I say. Yeah, so with me, it was back then when we were already done in school. After degree and everything. I had an account of $500. Yeah. And that was a good amount of money to me by then. $500 would be like 300 and something thousand francs. I had that. And we had started a small business with my friend Josh. So I really stay in the office and trade. And that day I made some profits actually. I made some profits for that day, like $50. Very, very exciting. And I have one setup on gold. So we trade currencies here, but we do trade gold as well. Yeah, so I had one very solid setup. I today hit my target for that day, but when we look at the chart, when you're a trader and you're making money, whenever I look at the chart, you no longer see those lines going up and down. You actually see the money. Yeah, so me looking at that setup that I had, I got greedy. So when you're trading, you obviously have daily targets. Your target might be to make $10 or $100 or whatever. I today hit my target of $50 and I was done. Normally, I shouldn't trade that day. But because I had a setup that I was so comfortable, so sure that it's going to play out, I went and I entered the trade. I just thought, okay, if this gold can just give me $50, I'm going to close and exit. And somehow, the market always have a way of teaching you like really instilling that discipline in you. I usually say that if you're disciplined enough while trading, there are very few things, other businesses that you'll not be disciplined enough to do what you're supposed to do, because the level of greed when you're trading is very, very high. Yeah, especially when you've seen the money part. So I entered that trade, and immediately I entered, it was a buy. Immediately I entered, like less than 1 minute, it took a dip down. So once you buy, you actually want the prices to go for you to make profit. So when it goes down, you're actually making a loss. And the risk management side can manage that loss, so you maintain it to be small and you maximize profit. But this one, I had no stop loss. My goal was just that I should tick up a little bit and I'll exit. It took that dip and also did down negative $60 something. So I already wipe the entire profit I'd made for that day.
Wow.
And what do you expect? What you expect I will close the trade, right? That, okay, I'm losing something. I'm going to close the trade. Nah. At that point now, you have left from greed to now hoping. So before I knew it, it went even deeper. At that point now, I just stayed praying. If there's any trader watching this, I'm sure you've witnessed that period where in a very bad trade, you know, you no longer want profit. You just want the trade to recover back to your initial position for you to close at break even. But this particular trade, just like it was deliberately sent against me, and it just kept going. And before I knew it, I had lost $400 of that 500, and I had to painfully close the trade so that I don't wipe the entire account. Yeah, that is not the biggest loss I've taken on an account. It's just the most touching. Like, the loss was very significant to me at that time. Yeah, I have accounts now that I risk more than that in a single trade, and it's just 1% of the account. So then now it's different. But that one now, the shock that I had during that period is something. It's an experience I never want to. Something I don't want to experience ever again. Yeah. So that's my experience with losing in the market.
I guess that makes us see that Forex trading somehow teaches you about not being greedy.
Yeah, obviously.
So in a sense, when you are trading, you should understand that when it's time to close the laptop, close it.
Yeah, I would advise anybody that is trading or anybody that wants to trade, okay, anybody that looking at this as potential business, that it's about being disciplined. Yeah, obviously that was several years ago. I'm talking something like 3 years plus back then. Yeah, so the indiscipline was very, very high. We human beings by nature are very, very indisciplined. So when it comes now to money, and it comes to you sticking to plans you've set, I mean, it takes another level of self-discipline to stick to that. So Forex is not risky. It's just the trader that have to manage the risk. So right now, we always see you don't risk more than 1 to 2% of your account. Meaning for every starting with 100,000 francs, for instance, you'll be risking anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 francs. If you're going above, maybe risking 5,000, 20,000 on that account, you are over leveraged, like you're taking so much risk. Okay. So the secret now is just managing the risk and making sure that your potential returns are greater. With that, it doesn't matter if you lose on that particular trade, because one thing in the market is we don't win on every single trade. It's not possible. Yeah, so out of 10 trades I might take, I may lose 3 to 4, for instance, and win maybe 6 of those. Yeah, but for every one trade I lose, I'll lose 1% of my account. So if I have an account of $10,000, for instance, for every trade I'm entering, I'll be risking $100. So if I lose on that trade, I'm down 100. But if I win on the trade, I'm going to gain at least 200. Yeah, so always make sure that your potential return is at least 2 times what you're risking. There are trades where you might make, 2x, 3x, 4x, or even more. Yeah, but the priority we mainly give is on what you're risking. Yeah, so before I enter a trade, I even give more attention to what I might lose on that trade to see if I'm really comfortable risking that amount. And the very last thing I'll look is profit target. Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about trading, especially talking cryptocurrency, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
These are things that we can't see. It's not like money that we exchange very physically, although the money is being transformed to physical. I guess some boys have that doubt. Let me say that doubt of like, I can't see what I'm trading. Like we talked about trading gold, but you have not
Yeah.
touched the gold, but you're
Yeah.
trading
Yeah.
it. So what is I think, the commodity that people trade? How do you get to access this commodity, like this Bitcoin, this currency? I know there are several right now. So what are those commodities like on the trading platform?
All right. So let's talk about cryptocurrencies. I know when we talk about crypto, most people know about Bitcoin, but actually there are millions of them as at now in the market. So cryptocurrencies they are simply digital currencies. Okay. So just look at mobile money. Can you touch your money the money you have in mobile money?
No.
You can't. Yeah, but that is your franc CFA that has been converted now in its digital form. You get it, right? So if you have 100,000 in your mobile money account, that's actually money. That is just a digital form of what you can have in cash. So cryptocurrencies now are just the intangible assets that you have. Uh, the currencies, depending on the project you. Okay, let's take for example Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin, is the biggest cryptocurrency out there.
Yeah.
Yet very digital, and all of these cryptocurrencies are out there for a particular reason. They have something we call use cases. So if you're getting into cryptocurrency, first of all, is to understand how the market work. We didn't start this. The market didn't start like just a year ago. It started right back then in 2009.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Yeah, so it started back then in 2009 where the first Bitcoin was mined. And you see right up to now, it started, back then it was far less than $1 to get one Bitcoin. And it was free. You could mine with your computer. It was worth some few cents. So with your computer and internet connection, you could, use your browser and you mine Bitcoin back then. But right now, things have gone really, really wild. And right now, one Bitcoin is currently sitting at around 82,000 thereabouts as at now. The highest price it made was around $108,000 for just one.
For one.
One Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah, so it can really go that way depending on how people accept the cryptocurrency in question and the specific use cases. Yeah, because when you get to study what Bitcoin was created for, is to first of all create an asset whereby the government is not in control of everything, every financial transaction you do. So if I want to send money to a sibling or to a family member, miles and miles, maybe in a different country, I don't need to go to the bank and spend 3 to 4 hours, waiting and filling application forms, justifying why I want to send this money and so on, and the bank will take another 1 to 3 business days to clear that transaction. That is a whole long process. Yeah, so it was created now to solve that problem of a lot of bureaucracy just in sending money and a lot of surveillance. Yeah, so it also has to do too with the transaction costs involved in sending that money. I don't know. There was a time last year when I don't usually use these services, but I went to send money via Western Union, and it was $1 million something, and I spent charges was about 30 something thousand thereabouts, almost. But with cryptocurrencies like USDT, there's a cryptocurrency called USDT.
Yeah.
To send this
Heard
money,
of that.
you pay just $1. Imagine sending $1 million, like anywhere from $1 to whatever amount. You spend just $1 for transaction fee, and the recipient receives that in less than a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, so is that fast, and is that efficient when it comes now to the cost involved? Yeah, so not all cryptocurrencies out there are good. Obviously, there are always bad players in every sector. Yeah, but the secret now is really, really researching good projects, and it's a whole process, to get to identify good projects. You need to first of all verify the team behind it. the team behind it. You get to verify the whole reason why they create the cryptocurrency. That will be their use case, the security of the cryptocurrency, the partnerships they've been able to establish, and their community, as well as their plans. They have a whole white paper. A white paper in cryptocurrency is what you otherwise call a business plan when it comes to our business. So those are some stuff that I can really get to research to find out the really, really good cryptocurrencies that you could get to use or invest in.
That's interesting. So when you now trading, how many cryptocurrencies are you into?
Okay, as at now, so you can trade and you can invest.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are two distinct ways you could make money from this. So right now I'm not investing, I'm actually trading it as at now. Yeah, so right now I do trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the two cryptos that I'm currently trading. Yeah, when it comes to long-term investment, you have some really good ones that we get to invest in that. But right now for me, it's not the best time to do some long-term investment on that. So right now I'm focused on trading Bitcoin and Ethereum.
And what will you say, as someone maybe looking to get into Bitcoin trading, what are maybe key characteristics or values, core values you should have as a trader?
Okay, when getting into this?
Yes.
Yeah, first thing, you need to prioritize getting the knowledge first before the monetary part. Yeah, so in the trading industry, there are, just like how I was attracted to this by the money that was promised, the flashy lifestyles and so on. Crypto is very similar to Forex, and even to an extent stock when it comes to the trading part, because what really goes out there is the flashy stuffs, the cars and the cash and the lifestyle. So after you've gone past that, you're already in it, you need to now prioritize learning, the knowledge. So we have really good resources that you can start from, really, really good books that you could start reading what is cryptocurrency from scratch and get to really understand how revolutionary this is all about, how this all works, how the cryptocurrency works. And then after that, you get to start studying the individual cryptocurrencies that you likely would want to invest in. Yeah, and as I just mentioned, there are certain key factors that you should consider before getting into any crypto projects, like the team involved, the use case of the project, partnerships they have been able to establish, their plans, and the community, how big or how confident are the people that are already, have they adopted the crypto in question, how confident are they? Because this is what it would really push the cryptocurrency out there to be a success. So when you're getting into this, there's no rush. Yeah, when you rush and focus on the monetary part, you're going to crash really, really hard. So you prioritize the knowledge first and create time to really, really enjoy doing this research. I know this is a boring part. Yeah, for one, I really, really love researching. If not for, I've done so many things before even crypto and Forex and all of this. Back then, so I started with Fiverr. I don't know if you know the freelancing site, Fiverr and Upwork. Yeah, my friend introduced me and I just went all in. Yeah, so that was a whole lot of research and stuff. So I come from a long, far back, a lot of research. Yeah, so if you're getting into this, be very, very comfortable researching, studying.
Reading.
Yeah, reading a lot, because you should be spending roughly 1 to 3 hours a day, at least. If you don't have time, like at least 2-3 hours studying to get to understand. There's a part where you get to practice as well. Practice, you might make some errors, but that's how we learn. And at a certain point now, you probably need a community, or if you have a friend that is already doing this, there's nothing more powerful than sitting beside somebody that's already trading or investing in this. Because there are certain things that you cannot really get to understand to an extent, except you sit beside somebody that is already ahead of you. Yeah, so have people around you that are already into this. Those that have the right values as well. Not somebody that will be telling you that, okay, if you start with crypto, within the space of a month, you can take $100 and turn it to $1,000 very easy with no risk. Those are some very dangerous statements people make out there. So we get to understand that in as much as you can make so much profit from this, it's still a gradual process. As volatile the market is, you have to understand that if you're getting into crypto and you want to invest, if you're not patient enough to buy a crypto asset and hold it for at least 2 to 3 years, I wouldn't even advise you to invest in that because it's going to be a lot of emotions. Yeah, so you need to be very, very patient when it comes now to the investing part. And trading part, you need to be very, very disciplined to follow the rules that you've set for yourself.
Okay, so I've talked about patience, discipline, not greedy.
Yeah,
Keywords.
greed is our number one enemy. Very, very dangerous.
So, looking at the aspect of gadgets, because since it's a online profit making platform, what are certain gadgets or things that people might need to get into crypto? Because someone might be like, oh, I don't have a laptop, I can't get into crypto. Or I don't have this, I can't get into crypto. What are those things that are necessities to have?
Yeah, for the gadgets, you need, most people already have smartphones. Yeah, so you have a smartphone, good. You just need something that is fast and really easy to use. From there, you would need really, really fast internet connection. Yeah. We don't need so much, but the internet connection is very, very important because there are certain decisions that you have to make very, very fast. You know, you might enter a trade and because of slow connection, you don't close it on time or you don't adjust it and manage the trade on time and it might cost you. Or connection might prevent you from actually entering a position to make some good profit. So having a good and stable internet connection is a must. And then this last one is just for those that really want to invest in this, like take it to another level. Like you need a good computer. Yeah, you can do cryptocurrency just with your phone, and stuff. But when it comes to, Forex, crypto, you want to really, really, really take this really seriously. You need a computer for your analysis. You really find a little bit difficult analyzing with your phone. Yeah, for those that have already been in this for years, yeah, I can analyze now on my phone with no problem. But for most beginners, you find it a little bit difficult. The screen really small and difficult to navigate. So you need your phone, computer, and a very, very good internet connection.
Yeah, so
we don't need a lot.
So a modern person nowadays that has a smartphone does not have an excuse.
Yeah, you don't. In as much as you've invested that time to study, study and really get to understand, yeah, there's no excuse.
Okay, so I'd like us to go back a little bit to when we started and you talked about the Platera Capital.
Yeah.
I believe you're the CEO of Platera Capital.
CEO is a big word.
Yeah, I bet you are. So tell us more about Platera Capital. What do you guys do?
Okay. Let me just explain how it was founded, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so back in the days when I started trading and I started making some small money, emphasis on that, I started thinking, okay, how can I really make this thing, big? Like really get out there and impact people. Like I can't do this as an individual and really impact people. I need a brand. I need to create something, grow this so that I can reach, a lot of people. And I started thinking, okay, maybe I could set up something, and from there we can get out there. And my wish had always been to first of all work for a financial institution before starting this on my own. Yeah, so back in the days, I just had that as a goal, basically. And somehow, as you have it, a friend reached out to me that a certain financial institution is looking for a trader. It was a microfinance, prima finance. They're looking for a trader to work with them. And I applied, I got a job, worked with them for 3 months. And after that, I had to quit now. What I was looking for, I had found it with them. Yeah, so after that 3 months, I had to quit. If not, I was supposed to work with them for another 2 years. So I was supposed to sign a contract for 2 years. And that's a very long time. I already got what I was looking for. And from there, by July, on the 1st of July, 2022, I launched Platera Capital. And I mean, the name itself might be surprised. Like, why
Why
Plutora?
why
Most
Plutora?
people get to ask me that because it's very strange, Platera Capital,
Yeah.
Okay, aside from the capital part, which has to do with finance, has to do with, yeah, the funds, Plutora, I had to coin a word that stands for what I envision for the business I want to run. A vision that has no limit. I want to build that business that has no limit, is abundant by nature, and so on. So Plutora stands for plenty,
Yeah.
abundance of something, no limits and stuff. So I had to join Platera Capital.
Wise.
Yeah, to build, they expand.
Yeah.
Because I honestly believe that the number one killer of most dreams is just fear and limited. We set our expectations very, very low. Yeah, so I'm trying to expand my thoughts, because what I'm even thinking now is probably still low from what I can accomplish. So that name, it really is very personal to me. Yeah, so at Platera Capital, we focus on impacting people first, raising awareness about the financial market. I'm talking about Forex, cryptocurrencies, and stocks, futures, and so on. Most Cameroonians know about crypto and Forex. And I would say 8 out of 10 students I've talked with, my students I've worked with, when they come to me, 8 out of every 10 have been scammed when it comes to this crypto and Forex by bad players. In every industry, you still have bad players and so on.
Yeah.
And you have people who say, okay, invest 100,000, and every week you get return of 50%, maybe 50,000 francs. And this young Cameroonian that does not really have a lot, just have, maybe they don't even have that 100,000, they have maybe just 50,000. They've heard this and they're very excited. They'll go and borrow money, make it 100,000 and invest. How do they invest? You send that money to that person, and the person will just magically double it every week. And when they get paid the first time, the great part enters. They even borrow more and add and invite people. For every one person that gets paid when it comes to these Ponzis, that one person will bring at least 3 people. At least 3 people to come and invest with them. And other people might bring tens and tens of people. And before you know it, those guys are gone. I don't know if you know about this, how do they call this sun run that happened?
We covered that on I think 2 videos.
Yeah, sun run and make it. There are so many.
There's so many. There was Money Man at one point.
I mean, I'm not stranger to this. Back then when I was starting, even before I even got into this, I've lost at least a good amount of money when it comes to these things, because everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to make money, but there's a level of ignorance that we always start from, and when you get tired of losing money, you say, no, let me really get into this now, understand how it really works. And that's one of my driving force why I learn about this. So by then, many people reach out to me to find out if Sunrun and the other things are good to invest. And I always discourage people, because we've seen this happen so many times. Yeah, so one main thing of Platera Capital is raising awareness, teaching people how to identify all these Ponzi schemes, how to identify just by listening to somebody explain what they are. Everybody can just create a good website, create a good story. There's this company that was in the UK. They were privately owned, but now, and they've been existing for maybe 10 years. They were privately owned, and right now they're bringing in a public so that individuals could invest and they get to make money while they sleep. All these fancy stories,
Yeah.
I've seen different Ponzi schemes with. It's just like they have a manual that they follow. You can really, really identify similar stories. Something that was private and they come public, so it can help now the masses. Invest and you make double. Yeah, so we teach people how to identify that first, and then secondly, we really get to guide people, how those that have decided to pick this up as a career path, we get to bring them in and mentor them, show them how to navigate this with the right expectations. This Forex in particular is a big one. This is not a market where you join to double your money in a very short time. It's not very sustainable. So anybody that tells you that, okay, you join Forex with $100, you can be expecting to make maybe $100 every week, or you can even take it to $1,000 in a week, they're not telling you the truth. Yeah. The realities in this market is very, very discouraging by nature. Because if I tell a beginner that, okay, if you're starting Forex and you start with $1,000, if you make $100 on that 1,000 in a month, which is 10%, you're doing incredibly well. You're among the top performers in this industry. If I tell somebody that they'll just look 10%, it might not look very, very encouraging based on what they've been exposed to, making 100% in a week. But guess what? That is a reality. I don't even make up to 10%. I still very, very huge. On good months, we might make that. But on average, 5% is more than enough. And it will bring that to the third part where we get to, or we've mentored the students in know how to trade. We see that they are doing well, but they lack that capital now to really, really make this something they could really take as a full-time business, should I say. We have the part where we can fund them by giving them capital to trade.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I know there are so many people that do trainings and so on, which is very good, as long as they are giving people the right knowledge and, telling people the truth, giving them the right expectations. So before they even start learning, they wouldn't know, because trade is not for everyone. The people that are just so hot, and they might find this truth very, very discouraging.
Yeah.
But for those that have gone past all of that, they know that, okay, if I'm to trade, I'm giving myself like 3 years before I can really, really see some good, significant profits from this. When we have gone past all of that, these guys have traded with their small capital they start by themselves, and I'm seeing results from that. We have opportunities whereby we can connect them to start trading with $5,000, for instance, and they don't pay for it. Yeah, back then in 2024, I personally invested in some 7 to 8 students of mine. Yeah. So what we do is we leverage on other companies. So in the Forex space, in the past 3 to 4 years, there's this thing called prop firms that have emerged, and they've really, really gone viral when it comes to, because back in the days, you had to start with your own capital. But now we have companies that fund traders, good traders. They actually give you money to trade, provided you have the skills. You go through evaluations and you got to trade with that capital. You make some good money. So I invested in some 7 to 8 students, put down some almost 2.5 million francs. How do we do that? We use this capital and we buy accounts from these companies. We call them prop firms. We buy accounts. They range anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000 or $200,000. Yeah, so obviously they come with terms and conditions. So I bought $10,000 accounts that cost roughly $350. I bought that and I gave my students to trade. Yeah, and so far they are doing well. Yeah, they're not making crazy amounts of millions as I know some people be expecting that I would say, but they are making at least, if at the end of the month they are withdrawing 200,000-300,000 from that, I think it's phenomenal, especially given the fact that they have been to this for less than 2 years. Most of them that give them that money, they've not been trading for up to 2 years. Yeah, and so far we found another opportunity whereby beginners could leverage and start trading with $5,000. And if they are doing well, there are various milestones where from 5,000 they could get 20,000 and even more, 100,000, based on the profits and their consistency in generating that. So we'll help people get this. Funding is a very important part in trading here. And we also have a community of traders. Yeah, we have a community of almost 1,000 members, whereby we share all these resources with them, share some books, share trade analysis on a daily basis, and just be there to answer questions. When somebody has issue and you really, really need some guidance. Yeah, we make sure that they are not alone. Yeah, we provide all of those.
That's phenomenal because a lot of times hear about people having trainings on Forex, but I think this is practically the first time I'm getting somebody mention that they also help the people they have trained to get the capital to start. And when you mentioned the fact that maybe they make to 200, 300 a month per se, and so I might not find that as a tangible amount for me, it's big, okay? Because I think sometimes with these things like Forex trading, and you say they want to compare it so much with Ponzi schemes, but it's not the Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
So I believe if someone is into Forex trading, they have gotten the training, they have been assisted with funding, and they are making these amounts in this period of time, that's already, it's a job. Like, yeah, it's a full-time job at that point in
Obviously,
time.
not everybody will start at that level, right? This guy started with accounts of even $50, $100. And they trade, they make $5, $10. Yeah, everybody starts very small. Yeah, I have students that they starting with $100 as of now. I know that at the end of the month, maybe they will make $20, $30 from that, probably. Yeah, which in France it will just be less than 20K. Yeah, so nobody starts by just making 300, 400,000. Yeah, these are guys that have been trading for some time, and I've seen what they have been able to do before investing in them. Yeah, and teaching people how to do something is easy. Yeah, that is the easy part. Teach people, guide them, and so on. But it comes that part where you back them up financially, which most people, or should I say, which is very important. I find that even more important because somebody might actually know how to do something, but they are limited financially.
Yeah, sure.
And it keeps them at the same position for another one to struggling and achieve something really significant within the time they have invested, everything they've invested in it, and they might be discouraged. Yeah, but if you have somebody that believes in them and even put money behind them, like it even gives, it's very different when you're doing something with your money and you're struggling and somebody said that, no, I believe in you that you can do this. And even backs you up by giving money to trade.
It gives a push.
Boost, it really gets to boost their confidence in themselves. And we're just starting that. When I'm saying we started, it's just something small that I've started. Because my vision within the next 2 to 3 years is to make this. Okay, if you remember when I started, I did not say we are a Forex academy. Most people have trading academy, Forex academies. Platera Capital is not an academy. We are more like a trading firm, or should I say an asset management company. That is my vision for it. So we'll not just be training people and so on. Yeah, we'll be providing those guidance, but a bulk of what we'll be doing will be to sort out traders and invest in them to work for us. Like, sort them out. You have results. You can trade. We bring you in, and we'll give you capital to trade, and we'll give you some very, very good commissions on the returns you generate with that capital. Very, very fair trading rules for you to follow. So once we really make this once you just make an ecosystem where you can work with us, we train you and so on, and at a certain level we even fund you, and from there we make it maybe a full-time job or business, should I say.
Seems like the future is very promising for Cameroonians at this point.
Yeah, let's say we're bringing a lot of opportunities your way. We just got started. We are less than 3 years old.
And that's I think the shocking part for me, because 3 years, I think people might look at it like a lot of time.
The Platera Capital part.
But for where you guys are now, 3 years is not so much time. Like, the growth, I feel, has been exponential. And when you say that somehow is your team, what role has your team played behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. When I started, my whole office was at around One Point Express. Yeah. And I started there, I was alone. Like, alone, doing everything alone. It was just a small room, actually. A small room, doing the trainings, and gradually I got somebody that I was working with. And I saw the importance of you having somebody with you. If you want to grow a business, you can't do it alone. I mean, you go mad, you just die with stress.
Yeah.
You always need people that you can rely on.
Yeah, that's true.
So my team have been very, 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 very fundamental to the growth we are experiencing right now. And we got to a new space back then in 2023, March of 2023. We moved to Simbok, more comfortable place. And right now we have a team of 6. Yeah, so 2022 I had just one person in my team, the graphics guy. But right now we have a team of 6 people that I'm working with. And these guys are amazing. So, if I travel and even make a week or a month, I know that I have a team that will do whatever I would have been doing if I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so without my team, I mean, I wouldn't be nowhere close to where I am right now.
That's lovely. Okay, I think I saw that you guys were doing a tour of Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Xness store.
Yeah, Xness.
Tell us more about that.
All right. So Xness, first of all, is a partner broker. One of the very, very, very best broker in the world. Yeah, I said that with all confidence because I've used them over the years, and I've used them for some time, and they are really, really good. So Xness, first of all, is the biggest broker in Africa that have taken over the African market. If you go to Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, recently Cameroon, they are everywhere. Why? Because they have very, very good trading conditions. Like when you're a trader, you want to make sure that your broker has very low spreads, very low commissions on every trade, have many deposit and withdrawal methods, and you can withdraw your money very, very fast. You can deposit very fast and withdraw very fast. And all these things are very, very fast with Xness. So Xness have been doing this country tour for over the years, and I was not part of it because I only started using them like some 8 months ago. I had another broker I was using back then, and I started using them back then, and I saw that, no, this is far more better than what I was using, and I just focused with that. And based on what we've been doing with the team, based on what we've been, the results of our students and so on, Xness officially recognized me as a partner. And during this year, they decided to include me in the country tour. So the country tour is meant to, first of all, promote the image of Xness as a leading broker in the industry and get to gather top traders in the industry. So in Cameroon, we have some top traders that were there. They were here in Yaoundé. We had the Xness event at Hilton Hotel. Yeah, so you can imagine the money that was invested in that event. It was a free event, and we had almost 2,000 members, 2,000 attendees in that event. The hall was packed. There was no space. We had 2 sessions, the Francophone and the Anglophone section. It just shows how interested people are to learn about Forex.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so Xness now picks the top traders in the industry to come share their stories, get to impact these young traders, and most importantly, share their journey and the right expectations for those that are getting into this. Yeah, because what we want is for people to get into this with the right expectations and succeed. If you get with the wrong expectation and rush things, you cannot help but lose within a very short time, because most people are going to quit trading within a year if they get with the wrong expectations. Yeah, so we'll have that tour in Yaoundé, then Douala. There was a tour in Bafoussam, then Boya, and just recently, this Saturday, the tour was in Bamenda. Yeah, so all of these tours were massive. The halls always full. All of these tours, the halls max capacity.
Yeah, I believe I saw pictures for the one that occurred in Boya.
Yeah.
And that was the Chariot Hotel.
Chariot Hotel. Yeah.
And it was packed.
Before we started, there was no space. Yeah, it just goes a long way to show that people are really, really interested to understand, to get into the industry.
Yeah, and that shows that somehow I think Forex or trading is becoming like the future of finances for Cameroonians. Because right now people are going into a lot of online methods of making money.
Yeah.
And you can see the presence, because maybe they host other maybe teachings for ways to make money. But if you see the population that are going for such events, it shows that people have seen that this is a way that as Cameroonians, with certain limitations we have with the system, we can still like pass around the system and make it on this other angle. So after the tour, what do you think was most impactful for you? Because I know people went out to do impact, but after going through the different towns, left and right, like what was your resolution? What did you get back from that?
Okay, first thing, I got to believe more in myself. That's the first thing, because I said that because I've been in so many events. And when you are an attendee in an event, like a participant in an event, and you see speakers sharing their stories, sharing results, and so on, you get all warm up and you get, really, really hype up and you wanting to do. But when you get home, in a few days, all that motivation, everything just dies down. Yeah. So I saw these stores back then in 2024, 2023, and so on. And I said, oh, that sure looks good. I would like to be one of those going around, to share my little story, how far I've come, and so on. And just that thought, alone, I believe, activated something. Because when I've not been working with Xness for that long, but based on what we've been able to do, the results we brought to them, for them to recognize me as a partner, it means a lot to me. Like, for that, I'm very, very grateful. I always tell them that, see, for you giving me a spot to go in this country tour, it means a lot to me that you can even imagine. Yeah, I mean, within the span of time that I've worked with them and the results I've brought here. So that just made me to believe more. If I see another event or attend another event and I want to be part of it, I just know that, okay, there are certain things I could do to be part of those in those, like a speaker in the event. Because to be there, obviously, you need results, and I believe there's no events now that I will see myself as too small to be part of. It's just about setting a goal and working towards that. Yeah. So doing this has really boosted some confidence when it comes to putting myself out there. Yeah. And secondly, I got really, really motivated by the other speakers that were there in the event. I saw some amazing, I got to connect with some amazing traders that were sharing their stories. Every trader have their stories, how they started and everything. Yeah, and I got to meet some really, really powerful guys, in Douala, in Bamenda, in Boya, that are doing some amazing work. And as I continue what I'm doing, I want to even do more, because I've seen the amazing work they're doing. I say, okay, I mean, the goal is to do this and impact as many Cameroonians as possible, and grow this and get out there, like even beyond Cameroon. We're looking at Africa and the world. So it just told me that I have to even multiply my goals. Maybe I was thinking small before this event. So after this, I had to go back to the drawing board and start rethinking some stuff we have to really set. Yeah.
I think that's quite, a fulfilling aspect when you have set some particular goals, and in you trying to get to those goals, you find out, maybe I'm actually more than this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I should actually increase. Like, maybe I'm dreaming too small for who I am.
That's true.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about, I believe, the Forex trading, but there's this other aspect you mentioned. I think you mentioned about stock investing.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about that particular aspect?
Okay. Stock investing. So before I explain that, let me just show you how all of this aspect comes together, all of these different forex and crypto comes together. So we have the financial market, first of all. And this financial market will have different markets within it. Yeah, so we have forex, we have crypto, we have stocks, we have futures, there's a place for bonds and options and so on. We have different types of markets. So the forex market is the biggest market of all of them. I mean, it's a $6 to $7 trillion market a day. So in a single day, transaction that goes through the forex market is between $6 to $7 trillion.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
And we trade currencies, all the dollar, the euro. I mean, if you want to trade into another country, you need to exchange your francs for whatever currency they use in that country. Yeah. So that is Forex. That is Forex trading. You're exchanging that currency. That is in a nutshell. And it has been there for decades. And cryptocurrency, as you said, digital assets. And now, when it comes to stock, the stock exchange market, we're talking about a market where companies that have gone public get to trade now. They list their currency, their companies rather, to become tradable. So people now, individuals can now buy a piece of that company. Yeah, you can buy a share in that company. So we have different companies. You have Apple, you have Tesla, you have Microsoft, and so many, Coca-Cola. Most things that we use, are listed in the stock exchange market. So I always ask my students, okay, you use Apple products, the iPhone, the watch, the MacBook, and so on. You're using this, you're just a consumer. But what if you could own part of this business? To give you perspective, Apple is worth $2 trillion as of now, the market capitalization of Apple. Trillions dollars is one company. It just tells you how big it is.
Yeah.
It's growing bigger and bigger over the years. So if you could use Apple products and you own a share in that company where you earn dividends on those shares every single year, I mean, you start seeing the possibilities on how you could really, really make this big. Not just earning as a consumer, but owning part of that. So while you're buying those products, the money you're spending is going to the company and it's coming back by giving you returns. Yeah. So for somebody that likes Coca-Cola, what if you could own a piece of that company? So whenever you're drinking Coca-Cola, you know that you're indirectly, investing in the company, and it will come back to you as return. You're pushing the company out there, and so on. So in the stock exchange market, individuals can get to buy individual stocks of the companies they really admire. I know most people know about Tesla nowadays. You could own a share of Tesla stocks, or if you like, what product do you like? That you mostly use.
That mostly use Malta.
Malta, okay, Xness. Yeah, you could own a share of that. So most products that people use, or if you just like a company, yeah, investing in it now is very, very easy. You have applications or companies that already have the trading symbols, they have the ticker symbols, where you can go, you create an account, verify it, you deposit money, and now you do your research. There's a partner for research. You don't just go and buy company stocks blindly. It's just like Forex and crypto. Yeah. Where if you want to buy Tesla stock, you go now and you research about Tesla, what it's all about, maybe their earning reports for the last 2 to 3 seasons that they released, and to really find if the stock is valued or overvalued. And from there now you can know the best time now to invest. But if you're looking to invest like for a long term, to buy a stock and hold for 10, 20, 30 years, I mean, it's just about finding some stocks that have good potential to buy and you hold. Yeah. Because with stocks, a famous investor, the greatest investor of all time actually, Warren Buffett. I don't know if you know him.
No.
Warren Buffett is the greatest investor of all time, one of the richest person on the planet actually. He says, if you want to get into stocks and you're not willing to buy a stock and hold for at least 5 years, you should not even get into it at all. 5 years is a very short period to buy and hold a good stock. Actually, you should buy a good stock and hold it forever. You only sell when, the company's fundamentals give you enough reason to do that. If you buy a good stock, your goal will be to hold it for as long as possible. And right now, it's very easy now to do that.
Wow. Okay. So getting into stock exchange. I think that's one aspect that people wonder, how am I going to buy this thing? Especially, I think most Cameroonians, especially youths, I think this brings us a point of wanting to or needing to have bank accounts.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that when you started doing trading, you never saw the point when they were bringing this bank accounts. You will come to school, but once you wanted to do this full time, you went let me get a bank account.
Yeah.
Do you believe that people who are looking to do forex trading, maybe even if they are still in just their learning stages, should already start considering getting bank accounts for themselves?
Yes. First of all, yeah, it's important to have a bank account, even if you're not trading. It's important. It's a place for that. But nowadays, when it comes to forex, most especially, it's not a must or not super important to have a bank account now because there are so many deposit methods people could get to use to deposit and withdraw.
What methods are there?
So you could use the easiest method as of now is buy money. You could use
Really?
MTN or Orange Money, to deposit, do your withdrawals. And with our broker Xness, you do that. You deposit money and receive less than a minute in your account. With your mobile money, it reflects instantly, and withdrawals instantly. My team, okay. So to tell you what this is, and the broker I use, like sometime last month, we had a very good month. I said, okay, let me take my team out. Let's go and flex a bit. We went to my favorite restaurant. We sat down, ordered food, and we're eating. And we're almost done. I did not take any money. I was like empty. We're almost done. And when I logged into my Xness account, I did a withdrawal of $100. And I did the withdrawal for the $100 to my buy money account. And when I launched the withdrawal, in less than a minute, on confirming the withdrawal, the money was within my account. And I paid now for that, the meal we just had. I was just telling my guys, okay, imagine a part where I was using a broker whereby I submit this withdrawal, and it doesn't go. We start.
That's a lot of confidence in your broker.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
a lot of confidence.
Because that's the first time I was doing it.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I can literally go anywhere, and I do, like, as long as I have money in my brokerage account, I can buy anything, and I just, within minutes, I have that in my mobile money, and I pay for it. That's how fast Xness is when it comes to deposit and withdrawals. No stories, no you waiting for 24 hours, nothing. Yeah. Another method people can use now is cryptocurrencies because the fee there is very, very low. So with cryptocurrencies, it's even cheaper to deposit with cryptocurrencies than with buy money. But if you want to deposit with crypto, even if you deposit $10,000, your charge you pay is just $1,000, just $1, $1, and you deposit with USDT. And it's very, very fast, it's instant. And most of us, we use crypto for deposit and especially withdrawals because of the exchange rate differentials. Yeah, because the exchange rate when you're selling USDT, that is crypto, will be different from the normal fiat dollar rate. So with these two methods, anybody can use, very, very easy, very, very fast, and the charges for the deposit and withdrawals super low. Yeah, with mobile money and Xness, you don't pay charges when you're depositing with Xness when you're using mobile money or Orange Money.
Yeah, so I think now we're telling all traders to go and check out Xness. Yeah, that could just be a game changer for you.
Yeah. There will be a link surely in the description for them to check that. Super reliable.
Okay, so I think we have covered, almost everything. But at this point, I want to play a little game with you. So I'm going to give you, you say a lot of things. And I think people are still even those people are thinking, I still don't know how to go about this. So give a 2-minute crash course. Or let's just tell them the crash course, how to get to Forex trading. Go.
Okay, so if you want to get into Forex trading, first of all, you have to start from the very basics. Very basic, what is Forex? You have to understand Forex refers to the exchange of foreign currencies like euro, dollar, pound for exchanging your euro for dollar or your pound for the Japanese yen. So it's exchange of currencies, that is Forex. You need to understand that part. Understand that this market is very, very liquid. This is the biggest financial market of all. So when you understand the basics, you need to understand the participants in this market. Understand that it's not just us that are in this market. You have governments that are in this market, like your government have foreign reserves held in other countries, foreign currencies. If they want to borrow money in other countries, they need foreign currencies to do that. So your government is super involved. Central banks and commercial banks are involved in this market. You have big institutions. You even have insurance companies, some big multinational companies like Tesla, and all of these are super involved in this market. And then you need to be versed now with the currencies that are traded in this market. Most currencies, the most thing we trade in this market are currencies like euro, dollar, pound, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, New Zealand dollar, and so on. You need to know all those currencies. Then you know the currency pairs, because we trade currencies in pairs. First of all, you have the currencies, and now we trade them now in pairs, like euro against the US dollar, pound against the pound against the Japanese yen, or pound against the US dollar against the Canadian dollar, and so on. You pair them and you trade. So you have to understand that, okay, there are about 26 major currency pairs. You have the major currency pairs and the minor currency pairs. There are now 7 major currency pairs, and major currency pairs are those that involve the US dollar, while minor currency pairs are those that do not involve the US dollar, like euro, Japanese yen, and so on. Okay, after you've done that, the next thing you have to do now is craft now a strategy, a trading strategy that is very, very simple for you to understand. Know that the more complex the strategy is, the more confused you become, okay? Complexity has nothing to do in this market. So you don't have to make a strategy complex. Make it very simple as long as it is effective. And you can apply this without thinking too much. All right, so when you've come up with a very good trading strategy that is easy to apply, you have to backtest it and get data to know the win rate of that. And after you've done that part, you need now to sort out the risk management and the trade management side of it. Risk management has to do with making sure that you're risking what you're comfortable losing. And for every risk you're taking, you are looking to make, let me not say guarantee, you're looking to make at least 2 times of what you're risking. It can be 3, 4, 5, yeah, but at least 2 times of what you're risking. You have to come up with a good risk management strategy, trade management part, how you're going to manage the trade when you enter, and then sort out your psychology. Make sure you spend at least 80% of your time on the psychological aspect. So all what I've mentioned will take just 20% of your time. From start, you focus on that year, but when you've handled that, the next 80% of your time, focus on trading, on your trading psychology. So trading psychology, you have to read books, get to understand yourself. Human beings by nature, we are negative beings. That means we gravitate to think more on the negative aspects of most things. Self-doubt and negative reinforcement. So you need to learn how to understand yourself first of all, how to restructure how you think, reshape your entire paradigm, become unconsciously positive. Even when you sleep, when you never think about it, you're just positive. Yeah, and that has to do with you reading, you meditating, visualizing what you want to achieve. I'm a big fan of visualization. If we had time, I would explain this thing for hours. Because I just believe that wherever you find yourself right now is based on what you've been having in your mind over time. Yeah, we're just a product of what we've been thinking. Yeah, so if you want to change your current situation, you have to change how you think. And how do you do that? Make sure you have clearly defined goals. You have strategies to achieve that goal. And most importantly, you believe and feel those goals even before achieving it. In the morning when you wake up, first thing you do after you've prayed, you have to make sure that you think about that goal and imagine yourself already achieving that goal. Yeah, all the feeling involved. And before you sleep, you do the same thing. Put yourself in the picture of you already achieving that goal, all the emotions, the joy, all the euphoria, all the feelings that you feel. I'm a big fan of that. And once you've done with the trading psychology part, make sure that you're just disciplined enough to do what you've set. And lastly, I don't know if I exceeded my time. Lastly, make sure you have a good trading community that you can be part of. Yeah, there's a part where you cannot be a lone wolf in this market. Yeah, it'll be very boring, especially when you're going through hardships. You will not have somebody to rely on or somebody to ask questions or somebody to support you. And that in itself can cause you to take a lot of bad decisions. So you want to make sure that you have at least somebody. It might be a friend, it might be a colleague that's already trading that's ahead of you and is doing well, or you seek out a community that you can join. Okay, we have free community that you can join us, trade, and whenever you have questions, you can reach out to me or my team, and we help you and sort out whatever problem you might be facing, so that you don't keep wallowing in that problem for a very long time.
Okay, so the point of me making this game was actually to show the audience how much of a genius and a boss you are what you do. So I'm just that 2 minutes I have given us.
The 2 minutes was very slow. It's not possible to.
That was the entire point. I needed to see how well you are good at
I
your
won't
craft.
cover everything.
So,
I mean,
ladies
so
and
much.
gentlemen, please go and check out the Platera Capital, the trainings, the entire community.
Yeah.
I think I'd done my research about you guys earlier before this, but just talking with you now, I think I'm just thinking trading, not trading. But no, it's something you have to build the mindset first. You have your mindset first. But I believe if at any point I ever go to that trading point, it's you. Just the Platera Capital. So now that we have heard everything, how can people get to you?
All right, so you can just search me on any social media platform. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter or X. Yeah, you can just search Joseph Randy. I'm going to pop up. Or on Instagram and TikTok, RandyFX. You're going to see me. Or the number, I'm sure you put the number on the screen. You can reach out to the number on the screen, 673037629. And if you want to get, to visit our office, we are in Yaoundé, precisely at Carrefour Simbok. In Yaoundé, at Carrefour Simbok, you can reach out to us. You can visit if you want just to ask questions we offer free consultation, irrespective of whatever market you want to get into. It might be Forex, it might be crypto, it might be stocks. You can get to talk, and orientate you. At least by then we'll have enough time for us to really get into some details so that you know the best fit for you. I know the expectations. I always emphasize on the expectations, because I would rather tell the realities and you end up not doing it than me sugarcoating things, you get into it and find out it's not what you were expecting. Yeah, so that's
it. All right, thank you very much, Joseph Brandy, for being here. I think I'm going to mention this because it really touched my heart this evening. When our wonderful guest came here today, he brought something for us at the studio.
It's nothing. No. Nice.
No, seriously, I was so hard touched by that. Thank you so much for coming and coming with your hands full as well.
No, I'm so happy to be here. I mean, you just came at the right time, because this year we are really focused on getting out there, getting into media, and pushing the vision out there, especially giving people the realities in this market. Yeah. If you look, everything I've been publishing online, everything, you will not see any flashy stuff. Not because I can't do that, because I've seen people that are doing things the right way and how far it's brought them. And doing things the right way in this market is a niche in itself, because it's just like an ocean of lifestyle, and you doing the right thing, you're just like, it just creates a certain niche for yourself.
Yeah.
And those that really value that are going to search, connect with you, and end up making this a big thing in the long.
Yeah. So if it's just to me, like, this interview won't end. But ladies and gentlemen, we cannot get the entire course in one session. Go and check it out for yourself. Okay. So thank you very much for being here, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching to this point. Please, if you have not liked and subscribed to this channel, subscribe. Check him out. Follow him. Check him out. Follow him. And next session is coming again next week Wednesday. A lot is in stock for you guys. Please keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, and see you next time. Bye.